Shalom. I want to stop giving all praise to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone for teaching of scriptures, among other things, and salutations to all the Akyam across the world who are doing this work in sincerity and in truth. And Shalom to the sincere brothers and sisters who are at home watching the videos and do their best to please Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai. So yeah, man, this video I want to jump into this article, and it's about the museo that they had on that they have on Curacao. It's Tula Museum, and Tula is the famous slave of Curacao who basically started the revolt. You know, yeah, he didn't really start the revolt because he heard that Haiti was freed, you know, because they defeated the French, and that the slavery was abolished there, and he went to ask, like, okay, slavery is supposed to be done. But the Dutch Edomites, you know, they took it as very offensive that he only already dared to ask that. You know, they sent him yeah, you need to watch the movie again, but I think first he asked the plantation owner, and then he wanted to talk to the mayor and all that, and eventually they just went against him, and yeah, they just sent the army basically, you know, on him. And he he had his best friend, and yeah, more slaves that were sick and tired. They started to fight back, but eventually, yeah, of course, they couldn't win it. And that's also thing, you know. So the Dutch Edomites, you know, you know, when everybody stopped slavery, so all the other Edomites, when they stopped with it, they furthered it for at least another 10 years on the Caribbean and in Suriname, you know, because they also had Suriname as a colony. So yeah, that's what they did, and they did horrible things, man. I found out about some things that they were doing during slavery, how they used to punish the people and all that. That's horrible, man. That's next level. These people, man, and you gotta, you know, that's why I always say that these Dutch Edomites, they are special, man, because they were also the first one, you know, that sent a slave ship from West Africa to America, and they were also the last one to stop. So that shows you that they are special, man. These Dutch Edomites is a special breed, and they're very wicked, man. Concerning wickedness, if you check the history about wickedness, man, they are far out the most wicked amongst these other devils, man. But yeah, so they got this museo, and now they said they want reparations, you know. But yeah, I want to talk about you know, the hopeful elect, those that are in this truth, you know, the sincere brothers and sisters that are listening to, you know, that do the best to please Yahweh, Shem Yahshua. We don't want no reparations. What we want to own you, heathens, you know, because that's what the scriptures teach us. So let me read a little bit of the article, then I'm gonna go into some scriptures. So this is so from an Italian paper. So Museo Tula demands reparations, from one of our reporters, Willemstad. Although reporting on the visit of the Dutch Prime Minister Rob Jetten, which is a sodomite, D66, to Musea Tula focused primarily on the symbolic and ceremonial aspect of the visit, Musea Tula wishes to explicitly record that a clear substantive message was also conveyed to the Prime Minister during the conversation, namely the demand for reparations. You see a female with a fist raised. Yeah, real dope, girl power. That's the picture that they choose. But yeah, Director Jean Henriques, we are aware that the Netherlands has so far spoken out against reparations. Nevertheless, we continue to assert this demand for reparations and reparatory justice empathetically on principle. The history of slavery is not a closed chapter. The consequences of slavery and colonial exploitation still persist today in structural iniquity, wealth disparities, cultural marginalization, and unequal power relations in Curacao and within the kingdom. And that's true. That's true because, like Bob Marley said, when they say that you are free, and then they say that you are free only to chain you with poverty, because that's what they do. They talking about that Curacao owns Holland millions. Meanwhile, the people here that been brought here in Curacao, of course you had some Arawak, so-called Indians, also here, and they were used, to bring wealth to Nederland, to the Holland. Here the majority was sugarcane that they had, and they would used to work, on the plantations, work very hard and work for nothing. And they had, there's a lot, they're still drilling for gas on Curacao, but the people here, they don't profit from it. And even what you see here, and you see it on more and more places, these Dutch people, and not only the Dutch, Americans also, they buying all this property, and it's very hard for the people here to get a piece of land, but you see secretly, that they buying pieces, like, was it a week ago or something, or 2 weeks ago, I don't remember exactly. I wanted to go to a beach here in Curacao, and I got stopped by security at the gate, and that was used to be a beach. That's all those beaches used to be public. You were just free to enter it, but they built a gated community around the beach, and they made these rules. So these white people, these Edomites, they make this rule that after 3 o'clock, not a car is allowed to go into that community to go to the beach, but you have to park your car in front of there, and then you can walk 2.5 kilometers to the beach if you want to go to the beach. So after 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you see that? That's the bullshit that they do. So these people who live there, they can go with a car and they can enjoy the beach, and that's how they keep these beaches white. Yesterday I was talking to one with the brother, brother who's also here. We two of us are here in Curacao, and he went to a beach. Last year, I went there, and I also saw that there was a lot of white people there. But this time I didn't went there, and he went there yesterday, and he said, "Man, that beach is done." He said, "There's all white people over there." And that's also a beach that you have to pay. And of course, the people in Curacao, they don't make a lot of money. Of course, it's 10 guilders, 10 guilders. That is what you have to pay uh, per vehicle to enter that beach. And I saw a clip like earlier this week also, about this woman talking about that she remembered that beach used to be open, that you were just allowed to go there, But they do it on various. You got multiple beaches. Beaches. If you want to go there, you still have to pay some guilders. It's maybe not a lot of money, but for the local, you gotta realize, if you're on an island, that's a part of your life. Going to the beach. There's another beach. From now on, it's still people don't have to pay there, but it's a matter of time. There's another beach. Where more locals are. It's not a big beach, and you see that people going there. Before the job, they just take a dive in the water. I saw also a clip of girls in Jamaica. They were stopped by security. Who also went to take a dive. Um, wanted to take a dive in the sea. Go to the beach, and they were also told that they had to leave there. That they were not allowed to do that. So they've been doing that for the locals. So they've been stealing and stealing. And then they talk about, you had this Marikutte who made his speech about a so-called apology speech concerning slavery, and he clearly said the things that we did then was normal for that time, but for this time it's not normal. That was his excuse. And the king also said something. I didn't went into his story, but I know it's also bullshit. And you have this rapper tycoon who was all in tears and emotional about the dumbass speech that the king gave. But yeah. Give me 1 second. Yes. So, as I was saying, I saw a clip of on was it Instagram? about some girls, who wanted to take a dip in Jamaica, and they basically, the security sent them away and told them that they were not allowed to jump into the water, and I also saw it here also on multiple places. Like I took a boat trip, to a private beach, some private beaches, and there was like, they make these rules, like there's only a part of the beach. They are, yeah, like it's like, they have like two resorts next to each other, and in between was a small beach that was public, but there was the only way that you could get there was by boat. Then you had a pier there. You have to, yeah. So the boat had to dock on the pier, and then you could jump into the sea and reach that other beach. That was the only way that you could reach it. So those are the things that they do. So, and there were bridges on both sides of the piers, but you were not allowed to use that to walk on the pier. So I was trying with one of the locals, security there. I tried, to walk over there, and I talked with him. He said, yeah, he's not allowed to let anybody go over there. You see that? So this is what these devils do. They take these lands. Yeah, like the book of Micah said, they take these land and take them for themselves, and they claim that that everything is for them. You know. Yeah, but yeah, this is also part of the curses. So, and yeah, they have their time now. Like the blessing that Esau had. The fatness of the earth. You see, that's his blessing. But yeah, let me see. So let me read a little bit. Yeah, you can. It talks about the reparations and all that. But yeah, can jump into the whole article was not really necessary. So let me see. I had the scriptures. I got some scriptures in my mind. Oh yeah, let me jump to the book of Micah first. You see the blue letter Bible. Book of Micah, chapter 2. Yeah, let me just start from verse 1. So this is the book of Micah, chapter 2 and 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of the hand. Yeah, they are in rulership right now, so they are allowed to do whatever they want. But you got to keep in mind, the so-called white people, these Edomites, they're gonna be exterminated. That's their future. You see? And they covet fields and take them with violence, and houses, and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even his heritage, even a man and his heritage. And they covered fields, taking these countries. Look at America. That's one of the reasons, examples. And yeah, like I was saying, how can you have a country? You had people in slavery, so you worked them to death, literally. Took all the benefits of it, took all the increase, put everything, filled your pockets, because Holland got nothing by itself. They filled their pockets, and then after you set them free, you talk about that they owe you money. How the fuck can they owe you money? You see that shit? That's the shit that they do, man. Fucking devils. That's why these people are gonna be exterminated, man. Thus said the Bible. And they covet fields and take them by violence, yeah, because they never asked like, oh, can we have this country or whatever, they took it by violence. And houses, and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man's heritage. They took everything. So the Most High is gonna correct that, man, and we're waiting for that. So let me see. Book of Psalms, chapter 2. Let me see. Let me just start from verse 1, man. This is a beautiful chapter. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 2 and verse 1. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against Yahweh and against his anointing, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. And that's exactly what they've been trying to do until this day. Keep us, make sure that we stay at the bottom. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, the Lord shall have them in derision. Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath, and vex them in his sore displeasure. Yet if I set my king upon my holy hill of Zion, I will declare the decree Yahweh had said unto me, Thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee, because he only cares about the children of Israel, the so-called Negros, Latinos, and the so-called Indianos. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance. So, showing you we don't need you, we don't want your reparations. Fuck you and your reparations. We don't want your fiat money. Everything that you got, you're gonna give it back to us, as is written in the book of Isaiah chapter 60. I'm gonna jump in that also in a moment. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possessions. Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron, thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. You see that? So this is what we are waiting for, man. And the book of Isaiah, that also came to mind. Uh, let me see, the book of Isaiah chapter 60. The book Isaiah chapter 60, verse 10. And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and the king shall minister unto thee. So this is what we're looking forward to. This also shows you that these small heads over there in Israel are not the people. They are not the people, because it says that these heathens gonna build our kingdom. And that's not the case over there. They built something over there, but they been under attack. And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and the king shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. Therefore thy gates shall be open continually, they shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles. So all this gold that y'all have been stolen, you're gonna give it back, and we're gonna get all y'all, everything that y'all got, precious stones, whatever, and that their kings may be brought. Yeah, your kings, these leaders, these elites, all that, they're gonna be our servants, man. Servants. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yeah, those nations shall be utterly wasted. You see that? Yeah, man. And there are, yeah, more, showing you that also. Let me see. Let me jump to verse 14. The sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee, and all they that despise thee shall bow themselves down at the soles of thy feet. So everybody gonna be under us, and they shall call thee the city of the Lord, the Zion of the Holy One of Israel. Whereas thou hast been forsaken and hated until this day, so that no man went through thee, I will make thee an eternal excellency, a joy of many generations. Thou shalt also suck the milk of the Gentiles. So we're gonna get all the goodies, the finest everything of what they got, and shalt suck the breast of kings, and thou shalt know that I, Yahweh, am thy Savior and thy Redeemer, the mighty one of Jacob. You see that? So let me see, what more do I got? What more do I got? Let me go to the book of Obadiah. Obadiah is also beautiful. It's only one chapter. So let me see. So this is the book of Isaiah. Let me see. Yeah, this whole chapter is actually dope, but let me start at verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. You see that? Showing you again that these so-called white people, these Edomites, going to be exterminated. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates and cast lots upon Jerusalem, because we were slaves. Like I said, they took everything that we had, all our precious things that we had, the things that we made, the gold, the silver, all the jewels, precious stones, everything that we got, they took everything. Even thou wast as one of them, but thou shouldest not have looked up on the day of thy brother, because Jacob and Esau are brothers, in the day that he became a stranger. Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress, and they do it until this day. Yes, but what are you talking about? Slavery is a long time ago. You should move on. Blah blah blah. Talking all that shit. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Yeah, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid on their substance in the day of their calamity. Neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape, neither shouldest thou have delivered up those that did remain in the day of distress. Because they really did their best to exterminated us, but that's what waiting for them. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. All your heathens going to get it because you all are against us. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yeah, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. You see that? We're gonna own your stuff, and we're gonna own you. Yeah, man. So that's the thing, So, like I said, we don't give a shit about the reparations. We don't want that, We want you, and we're gonna get you. Thus said the Bible, man. Thus said the Bible. Yeah. But I'm gonna leave the video like that. So basically, the point is, like I already said, we don't need those reparations. We're not asking for it. So we're waiting for Yahweh Bashem Yahushai to take the vengeance. So yeah, man, with that, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Basham Yahushai, Basham Kakadash, double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone for teaching the scriptures, among other things, and salutations to all the Akim across the earth who are doing this work in sincerity and truth. And shalom to the sincere brothers and sisters who are at home watching the videos and do the best to please Yahweh, Basham Yahushai. So yeah, man, with that, I'm gonna say shalom.